sparkling, and I figured I should dress for the occasion. So if you're watching this and it's July, you may seem a little confused. Oh my goodness gracious. So fun. So fun to pull out the fancy stuff when you get to this time of year. We're just wanting to celebrate. It's the end of the year. It's the beginning of a new year. There's so many things going on that are just so worth celebrating. And speaking of celebrating, I'm just going to click this on. It's like have a better idea of watching comments so I could do a better job of answering questions that might come up. So welcome to today's show. We are so close to the end of the year, and I'm so glad to be here with you to welcome in the new year, usher out the old. And before we get started on adding some sparkle to our day, thought we should get to some housekeeping just to kind of go over a few of the things. Hey, oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, it's midday. It's a little overdressed for midday, but if you've joined us on artbeads.com/live, you will see on your screen a little shopping bag that is, hey, Deb, it's almost New Year's. Hi, Mom. Oh, thank you. So that shopping bag icon is our best friend because we can shop while we watch. And I love this combination. It makes it so easy to quickly get whatever it is that you see that you need or maybe need a replacement of. Put it in your shopping cart, and then at the end of the show, close it out. And then before you know it, all of the things that you needed are at your door. We are so glad to have this ability to do this with you. It just makes shopping so easy, and I really love it. I know I've watched videos before, and it's like I'm trying to take notes, or it's really late at night, and I'm like, I have no way to take notes, and you don't remember. So for me, being able to see the items on the screen, look at them more closely, understand exactly what I'm ordering, put it in the shopping cart, and move on, all while you're able to still listen to the instructions, it's just genius. So I hope you appreciate that. There's also the heart icon, which really helps me know if while you're watching there's something that you really appreciated. If you're seeing something that you really love, it helps us all know exactly what we're doing that's working. And then also you can add comments. Thank you for that. And you can add comments so that we can also know things we're not doing right, or if you can't see something because we've all moved off camera. I know when I'm making things, I sometimes get a little lost or can't see exactly. So I do get a little off center. So it's always helpful to give us a little cue in the comments. So use those comments for being able to see things a little bit better, or tell us what you want to know. I am always really trying to satisfy what it is people want to learn. So knowing what that might be helps guide me in what it is we're offering you. And we being the many makers who are here on artbeads.com/live, we've got Julie and Becky and Sarah and me and so many more on the way. So just telling us what it is you want to learn really helps us then know what to focus on. Otherwise, you're just going to be able to see what it is we think we want to share, what products we want to work with. And speaking of products, I don't have any of them here to share with you, but have you been watching the lives and seeing all those amazing bead mixes that the ladies put together? They all got to go on this wild, well, it probably wasn't wild. I don't know if it was wild. But this field trip was what I wanted to say. They went out into the wild on this field trip, and they got to explore this, I don't know how many pallets of products it is, but boxes upon boxes upon boxes of beads that have not seen the light of day for a really long time. So they are vintage, and they, from what I've seen and on screen, it was a little wild. Well, I know if I were there, I would have probably been whooping and hollering. So the bead mixes that they were all able to put together, things that they loved, that they wanted to see, those bead mixes are amazing. And the value that they are putting into those assortments, off the charts. off the charts amazing. So I know they're going to allow me to use some of their bead mixes. So catch me next week. I've got a little bit up my sleeve once I get my hands on some. But go back and watch the lives if you haven't seen them, because the bead mixes are amazing. They're beautiful. Oh my gosh, the Egyptian one took my breath away. And then speaking of going back, all of the lives that have happened, you can find them at artbeats.com/live. There's a library of videos, and there are some really great projects that the ladies have been doing. And this is also how you can keep track of what's coming up. So you can add each of us toward your calendar, and definitely check that page out today, because what's coming up tomorrow took my breath away. Oh my gosh, that design is amazing, Becky. I cannot wait to see it. And I love those beads. So definitely add to your calendar what tomorrow's live is going to be. It is beautiful. Okay, so if you are watching us on social, on Facebook or on YouTube, we thank you for joining us. But if you wanted to shop, you do need to come over to artbeats.com/live. Or if you want us to be able to see your name in the comments, that is also the only way that you can do it is if you're on with us live on artbeats.com. So come on over and join us over there so we can interact with you. And if you're on social, please think about sharing the show with your friends through your network, just so we can grow our community and bring everybody into one place. This has really been a wonderful area for me to get to know new people, meet new people, share me with them, so we can all get together and build this community. It really is it's a wonderful place to be, and the more people we have here, the more interaction we have, the more fun we'll have. And so just thank you for sharing it. Thank you for considering word of mouth, just sharing with people what we're doing over here on artbeats.com/live. And let's see, what else is on my list that I want to make sure I cover. Okay, I think that is mostly it. Thank you all, and thank you. I pulled this out special for today. It's a little over the top for midday. I'm sure when I run into somebody in my house later, they're gonna be like, "What, are you going to a party?" This is my party. Being here with all of you is my party, and it's probably the most exciting thing that I'll be doing for New Year's. It's not what it used to be. I'm a little bit more subdued when it comes to New Year's by the time that bell strikes midnight. So anyway, okay, so we are talking crystals today. So I love adding sparkle here and there. I love brightening things up. I love having a little pop of bling. Actually, you can see right over my head, I have cups galore that have crystals on them. Like, it's just fun. It's just a fun way to enhance your surroundings, bring a little sparkle to your day. Hi, Pam. Oh, sparkle every day. I love it. I'm glad to be with you. Oh, thanks for switching. Barb Girl. Okay, I am glad to be able to see you, say your names, acknowledge that you're here. I want to scroll through comments, make sure I'm not missing anybody. Oh, it's wonderful to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so we are talking crystals today. I'm using prestige crystals. I'm so glad, Pamela. Thank you so much for joining. And if you did miss any of the intro, we've got the shopping bag icon, and you should be able to see the products, and you could just slip them right into your bag. Santa Barbara, girl. Oh, that's a beautiful place. If that's really where you live, that's a beautiful place to be. I think I've had gray skies for over a week now and rain. It's not fun. And I'm in the Northeast. Hi, Christy. Thanks for joining. So nice to see you. So nice to be here with everybody. So we are, what I wanted to share with you today, like, this is just a simple Post-it note desk organizer. One, I love organizing. I love keeping my desk tidy, but come on, like, how fun is that? And if you just have that on your desk, like, how fun would that be? You can do your staplers. I have added crystals to, the phone grip, the back of my phone grip. Just add them, just put them everywhere. And the prestige crystals, I have to say, are the most amazing crystals that you can find. So I recommend them highly. They are my true favorite. They have been my favorite for a very long time. They are Austrian, so they are extremely well made, precision, the clarity, the colors, the sizes that are available. There's so many things about them that I could go on and on and on and on. But really, they truly are the best. Oh, definitely. You can add crystals to your purse. The fun thing is we are going to be using gem tack, and gem tack. There are lots of glues out there, and I don't recommend all of them. I really don't. But gem tack to me is one of those. It's safe. It's non-toxic. It's easy to work with. There's absolutely nothing challenging about working with this glue. It is easy to clean up. Did I already say that? Like, it's so easy. You apply it, and I will show you. We'll apply it. It's easy to spread. It's easy to clean up. It dries clear. It works with a lot of different materials. I want to say fabric. Sequins. You can use it with sequins. This is not, these are stitched on. I did not glue these, just to be sure everybody knows I did not glue these. But this is washable, and it really does work with all materials. So I do recommend this glue. I think it is wonderful. We are going to be using the Crystal Katana. And let me take it out of the packaging. But I wanted you to see, like, it comes so well packaged. It comes with its own case, which does protect it. It comes with an instruction card. Look at that, Miss Kelly. I don't know if any of you follow Kelly, but Kelly DeFries, Crystal Ninja, she invented this tool. There are patents around this tool, which that may not be important to you, but to me, it means the world. One, I know she has worked very hard to make this tool very precisely, well made, well crafted. There's nothing about this tool that I can say needs to be changed. She continues to improve it as she finds things that she would like to be done differently. All the instructions you need are on the back of the packaging. It's really an amazing tool. I've known Kelly a long time, so I remember when she was inventing this tool, and she would tell me, she's like, "Oh, I stayed up all night." You know, so this is the tip that she manufactured. Like, she figured out how to make this tip so that you can pick up the tools, the stones with it. And I remember when she was making these, and you know how many failures she had, and then when it was successful, how excited we all were, because it really made it a tool that we could use that was hands down the best out there. It's got this wonderful barrel. For me, I have large hands, so I love the larger size barrel. It's also longer, so I love how it fits in my hand. This end does screw off, and inside is a syringe tip, so you can replace that if you need to. You could also clean it. I had mine soaking in a little bit of alcohol to get some of the glue off, because I'm not always the neatest gluer. To be honest, I'm not always the best with it when it comes to having a little bit of excess glue. Hi, Shelly. I have googly eyes on my phone. Perfect. Isn't that fun? And then this tip is also replaceable, because if you're like me, you will eventually make this point so that it doesn't work anymore, or its point's gone. You want to have the point be a little bit better. Here, let me come. You can see. You can replace it. I mean, so really, hands down, one of my most favorite tools. Never without one, and I probably have 6 of them. I have them everywhere. I have them all over the place. So kudos to Kelly, and thank you to Kelly for making such an amazing tool, Crystal Ninja. This is the Crystal Katana, and it has a case. I highly recommend you hold on to the case, because you do want to protect this tip. You do want to protect it as best you can. You don't want to just throw it in the toolbox, or you know, whatever box you keep your tools in, because it will get banged up, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so those are some of the key things we're working with today. And of course the crystals, which I will show you better when I turn the phone down. Oh, you got it, Eric. Thank you. Thanks for the tip. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera a little closer and then turn you down. So bear with me while I get things a little bit better adjusted so you can see what I'm doing. A little closer to me. And then we're going to angle things down. There we go. And then I will bring you down a little lower. All right. And oops, I will adjust. This thing I'm using has a lot of knobs on it. Sorry about that. Okay. And I'll bring the lights down a little. Does that look good for everybody? All right. So again, here we have our crystal katana. I've got my bead scooper, which we'll show you later when we're cleaning up. But this is also one of the tools. It's great to have. Oh, I'm glad. Need more sparkle. So it has tweezers on one end, and then this great scoop. You can see it's well loved. I use my tools. I don't just have tools that don't get used. Mine are pretty banged up, and I've had to clean them before today. I like to keep a nice sharp tool nearby. This is the Tulip Bead Awl. I, again, have probably 6 of these in all different places of where I have tools. This thing is amazing. It is extremely sharp, so I offer that with caution. Move these to the side. Some things that are not readily available on the website, but things that I will be using. This is a sponge applicator and a toothpick. And then we'll also be using some sanding supplies. This you can, get at your salon supply stores. And okay, let's talk crystals. Crystals. Lovely. I mean, so these are the Prestige. You can see, you could just tell if you look at these. Hi, Anita. Oh, Joburg. Oh my gosh. That's one of my most favorite places to be is Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you for joining us. I have been to your beautiful country and your beautiful city. I love it there. Oh my goodness. Make my heart skip a beat. Thank you. Boy, you took me back. I was there in 2008. That was quite a while ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. So there's the crystals. And really, you can tell the difference. If you use other brand crystals, you'll see a difference. And I'm not saying that they're not okay, but there's definitely a difference. And obviously, these containers are super convenient. I do use a label maker quite often. Most of my things are labeled because it's hard to remember from day to day when things wind up in different places. It's nice to have labels on them so that you always know what you're working with. And something else I pulled out for us for today are some shapes. I think it's called the rhombus, but to me, it's a diamond. So we're going to talk about these guys. Where's my tweezers? So and this bead mat is great because you just kind of rub your finger over and the crystals turn up the right way. Amazing. But if they don't, you can just flip them over. That's why I always have tweezers handy. So, I mean, look at these guys. See if I can get one and hold on to it without flinging it across the room. Look at that. And how fun. So these, you can do so many different designs. Well, there's probably a limit. This is geometry, not my strong suit. There's probably a limit on how many designs you can do with these, but you can make them into a flower. And then you can put these on whatever surface you're working on. And then you can make that flower bigger. And then as you do that, then you can fill in the spaces. So much sparkle. I know, I love it. It's a little blinding. But what's bad about that? Nothing. So just fun. Like these guys are just so fun to work with. I love all the shapes. You can just go crazy. Should I go a little lower? You guys want to see a little bit more close? Let's see if I can go a little lower without. There, how's that without a shadow? There we go. I have to just be able to get my hands in here. But what I want to do today, what I want to do on this surface is I guess it's kind of like a snakeskin pattern, and just line them up like so. So I think there's probably a limit on what you can do with these, but there's still a lot of options and a lot of ways that you can do this to suit whatever style you're going for. And of course, there's other shapes. This was just one that I really loved and I thought would be fun to talk about today. It matches the shape of this dispenser that we're working with. So I just thought I would do something like that. Okay. Oh, a poinsettia, of course, especially given the season. A poinsettia. Everybody says it a little different. I'm from the Northeast. I always say poinsettia, but that's not right. Okay, so as I promised in my setup, oh my goodness, in red, that would be amazing. If these were red, oh yeah, then you definitely have the poinsettia for sure. Okay, so what we need to do is, let me move this stuff back just a little bit. When you're working with crystals and you're working with adhesive and you're wanting everything to work and stay together, the prep is so important. And I remember when we were first learning all of this stuff, you either had the light bulb moment of like, oh, that's why the glue failed, or oh, that's why the crystals came off. It's likely the prep. Not the washing, not the cleaning, it's the prep. The prep is so important. And the keys to good prep are a surface that gets roughed up a little bit so that you have something like a little tooth. Look, my hand motion, a little tooth to it. So I just use these blocks. Now I know this is going to maybe make some of you feel a little sad because now I've taken that beautiful crystal clear surface and I've really marked it up. But this helps, not only does it help rough up the surface and give it a little tooth, you're also going to be removing any sort of residual machining leftover part like oil or fingerprint oil. So this does kind of double duty. So anywhere you know you're going to be applying crystals, you want to do some sanding. And you can use a heavier grit. This is really fairly smooth. This guy will really take off a little bit more material. It's not necessary to go too crazy. And then you need to clean it. So like for real, clean it. And I keep a pack of, I'll show you, I'll keep a pack of hand wipes that are, how much alcohol in them? They're alcohol made without, let's see, 65% alcohol. But I also keep, one of these containers that you would see it also at the nail salon store, that also is filled with alcohol. So I always have alcohol handy for all the different applications that I work in. Alcohol is just key on removing all of the things that you don't want on the surface, especially when gluing. But if you work with resin or anything like that, like alcohol then helps remove excess resin. So it's just nice to have on hand. And these wipes are great, especially if you get resin or glue on your hands. They're fairly forgiving without actually using straight alcohol. All right, so that's all there is to prep. Really super easy. Okay, let's move this guy back in. Okay, so now I'm working on this great bead mat that allows me to, flip the stones, move them back in, just to keep the sparkle going. This bead mat is great because it helps flip the stones. It's very forgiving. I do try not to get glue on it just because I do like to have something in my world that's clean and free of glue. But if you do, these are also very washable. It has a great rubber backing, so they're very stable. They're like it doesn't slide around. It doesn't just slip away. And it has all the measurements on it. And I believe this is an older version, so it's a little smaller, a little bit. I think this is only 8 inches, where the one that is that you can put in your shopping cart today is 12 inches, which it would be nice if this was a little bigger. But I have the 8-inch, and it's a great size, but I would love to have the 12-inch. And the one that's listed that you guys can see there also comes with a tray where the mat sits into the tray that's flocked. So just a great set. What else do we want to talk about before we get any further? We don't need this right now, so move that. I don't want to distract you. Hello, Miss Sandra. Thank you. Yes. Oh my gosh. Isn't that just beautiful? What else? We've got, these are all clear. These are what, crystal, and they're clear. Of course, there's AB finish in almost every color. There's lots of other colors. You don't have to use clear, but it's kind of fun. And then because the surface is clear, whatever color paper you have underneath. So that's another thing. Let's talk about that. In this glue, you can add paint to your glue or dye to your glue. You'll want to do some compatibility testing before you do that. We won't get into that today, but you can color the glue. So even though this dries clear, you may want to have color so that between the crystals, especially if you use colored crystals, I use clear here. And right now there's a paper backing, but what I will do on this, because this is more like a keychain, it's just a piece of acrylic. I will add color to the glue and create a color background so that all of the clear gaps in between the stones are filled in. And then we'll talk about this piece later, but same, like you can see the brown of the paper, but what you put behind it can enhance the colors of the stones that you choose. So really, options. We love options. You can use a contrasting color, a complementary color. You can use whatever color you like. Okay, so now let's talk about glue and application. As I mentioned, I have, this is just a sponge tip applicator and a toothpick. And looks like I've got a little bit of a shadow. I hope you guys can see that. Okay. So I don't take, this comes off. You have a couple of options here. You have this where you can use this and squeeze it out. But because I don't go through glue that quickly, I don't like to really do that. So I will just take the top off, and you can pour this into a container, or you can easily just squeeze and just take out a little bit. And then just apply it. Every glue has its own dry time and then a cure time. So you'll have like a working time frame, and then you have a curing time frame. And the curing time frame is really important once this design is finished, so that you know the glue is properly cured before you actually clean it. And we'll talk about cleaning at the end, but I'm mentioning that, as you choose your glue, the working time is very specific, and except it's specific in that it will work differently in everybody's location. But it is a real thing. Like you may get 5 minutes, you may get 10 minutes, depending on the glue. So I have a little bit of glue. Put down the stone. I want to get this one just right. And then tap it. And we'll just line these up. And here, how about if I go a little more overhead? And then just line them up. So I use the tip to pick up the stone. It has just enough stick to it. And then I place it. And then I use the other side to press it down. The nice thing about working on this type of surface, so I'm just going to adjust everything so it hits that edge. The nice thing about working on this type of surface where you can see through it is you can see if you're doing this correctly. So I'm seeing glue under this completely, this one's complete, and this one's partial. So that just says to me I need to press down a little bit more. And what you want to do is remove, you want to make sure that you get full contact on the surface and that you remove any sort of air or gaps. Much better. You cannot do that with every surface that you glue on. So I'm sharing that with you with this because it's a nice option to see. And so you can learn the right techniques. And there we go. And let's see if we can keep going. We have a little bit more room. And I could feel the glue is starting to set up. And you want to press firmly. Okay. And now what we can do is fill in some of the gaps. So I can see the glue is still a little bit white here, so I can fill that in. And what I would do is use a smaller stone. And so here's where some of the chrome that's on the list comes in. So then you just fill in those gaps like that. And then that glue will dry clear. I do try to be a little bit neater with my application so that I don't have glue coming up here, but it will dry clear. It doesn't hurt anything. And you do have a little bit of working time. You can still make some adjustments to make sure things are lining up properly. And let's see, let's work on this edge. So again, I will take, because I'm in so close, you guys can't really see how I'm working. I tend to use whatever's handy. And so I kept the toothpick on top of the lid of the crystals, but you can certainly set up things however you want. Okay. And just put a little along the edge. Spread it thin, spread it evenly. And you don't want to spread so far. Once you understand what the dry time is, you don't want to spread, like you don't want to cover the whole area if you know your glue is going to dry quickly. Because then you just have to add more glue. One, it's a waste of resources, and two, you're then placing extra layers of glue where you don't need it. So we'll just place them down. I can probably get a few more down. Oops. That sometimes, and when people see the work that I've done, they're like, so did you just buy a sheet of that and glue it on? And I'm like, nope, it's one at a time. So yes, it is one at a time. Oops. Okay, and then we'll just make sure it's right on the, oops, sorry. There you go. Right on the edge, press down, press down. And often when I'm making a design, what I'll do is I'll do this first row, which is not tricky, but you're not really pressing up against anything. So I'll do this first row. I'll make sure everything is really aligned correctly. You know, kind of run your finger over the edge so that you know things are really enclosed correctly. I'll let that first row dry, and then I'll come in and I'll do the next couple of rows. But I would do the whole row, add more glue, and then come in and do the next row once that one's cured, because then I can press up against it and have something help give me some guidance. Okay, any questions? I don't see any questions. Oh, Devin. Hi, Devin. Sorry, I'm scrolling back. Hi, Devin. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure everything's lined up. So I would definitely fuss with this a little bit, because I can see now, looking at it from this angle, they're not perfectly straight. The other thing you can do is take another tool that you have handy and give yourself a straight edge. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be that, you know, you leave it. Now look how straight that is. So, and all I did was just grab this guy. So it was just what was handy. Okay, so that would be all you would do, and you would just continue the design until it's completely covered. And then you just assemble it. So this is, again, it's just a Post-it note holder, something simple from my desk. You can do this on you can do this on anything. You really can do this on anything. And again, I'll show you these guys. These are just pieces of acrylic where I've added the crystals. And this, I call this like a scatter mix. So it's all different sizes, all different colors. And they're just on randomly. They're not straight in a row. You could do straight in a row like bricks. How do you lay out the design so that you know it will fit the piece you're blinging up? That's a great question. You can measure. So each of the stones comes with a measurement. And it requires math. So I tend to skip this part. And I just kind of test it out. So like I used I think it was SS7s or 6s along this edge, and then it just fit perfectly. Here you can see. But then once you get going, you can see here I had to fit in smaller stones. So then I couldn't use the 16s all the way around. I had to fit in some smaller stones just to make that curve work. So it isn't this is not a perfect science. I did not make this to be absolutely perfect, but you could, by using the measurement of the stone, figure out how many fit in the dimensions of the design that you're doing. So you could measure the long edge of this, calculate how many of the millimeters there are, and then how many millimeters each stone is. That's really the best way to do it if you want to be 100% accurate. I tend to have different sizes around so that I can kind of fill in where I need to without having to it's not too obvious. I don't think if I pointed it out, anybody would say like, oh, you put a 12 in there and those were all, other ones were 16s. I've never had anybody give me a hard time about that. So I say, just enjoy the process and fill in what you need to with what you have. or do the math. Like, doing the math is not hard. It's just one more step. And this, because this is so random, you really can't plan ahead, which I know sometimes is challenging. But I love a scatter. I think it's fun. It's lively. It's just a nice way. And this could also be, if you're working on a project, this is like a test piece. And this actually honestly is a test piece. We are working on a project where this color palette will be used on something much larger. So this gives me an idea of what the pattern with these colors will look like, how many fit in this shape, which is a 2x2 square. So then I can take this 2x2 measurement, figure out how many stones fit in this space, and then multiply it by the actual dimensions of the piece that I'll be finishing for real. So that's another way to do it, Christy, which I hope makes sense. I'm actually working on a formula to help me then say, like, okay, if I'm, how many of each of these different colors and sizes do I need to equal that measurement? Okay, so the other thing that we talked about, the other thing I mentioned I would cover today is cleaning. So one thing that I've had people tell me is like, oh, I love that, but I would never trust myself washing it. Well, if you've done a proper job of prepping, which is why it's really important to prep in the beginning, you should be able to, without fail, come in, wash this in hot soapy water, and use a scrub brush to clean it. So pretend this is in hot soapy water. I will take a scrub brush and I will clean it. And this actually was just done yesterday. And you can see the glue is already cured. I typically will not do this for 3 days. I will really give the glue a fighting chance to cure fully. And I think you can tell by the sound, I'm pressing pretty hard and not one crystal has come off. And the nice part is if one comes off, you can just glue it back on and then just let it cure. When I sell my work, oh, good, Christy, I'm glad that helped. When I sell my work, I will send, thank you for helping put my words into something tangible there. So appreciate that. I will give people a tiny little bit of glue. Like, I will take this glue and I will put it in a little container along with the scrub brush and some extra crystals, so that if any of them do fall off over time, or if they get knocked off, especially along the edges, if you're doing it on a surface of something that might get banged around, or if it's on jewelry. I mean, we talk jewelry here a lot on artbeads.com. If you do this on jewelry, it may, depending if it's like a bracelet or a ring, it may suffer some wear. It just might need to have a repair. And so I will sell my designs and offer people like a few extra stones, so that should something happen, they can repair it themselves, and they'll have what came from the original assortment, so that I know the colors will match. Because prestige colors are consistent. I've never had like a dye lot. I've never had prestige crystals have an issue with color changing from time to time when I purchase it, but there are the other issues that come up with dye lots being different. So I always just take from my original assortment and carry those along with the finished design, so people can do the repair work themselves. So any other questions, comments before we flip around? All right, so I will bring you guys around, get me back up onto a there we go. It's so wonderful to be here with you guys today. Really so appreciate being here, having the excuse to add crystals to something midday. Maybe you're taking a break from work to join me today, which I truly appreciate. We got to talk crystals. We got to talk sparkle. We're winding down on the year, which I cannot believe it's the end of the year. How is 2023 nearly over? Oh my goodness. I do hope all of you have had a good year. I hope that you are looking forward to the year ahead. Maybe you have some new plans, some goals, some ideas. I hope you do include artbeads.com live in all of your weekly plans. We have some amazing talent already, a library filled with lives with wonderful projects and so many new projects lined up. I have quite a few already in the works to be adding to the queue, so you'll know what's coming up. I am live again next Wednesday, the 3rd, and then I will switch to my regular day, which we're planning to be for Monday. So Mondays, I believe, will be at 1 o'clock Eastern, which I hope is a good time that works for everybody. We try to factor in all the different time zones, but it does get a little tricky. But we're live, and we try to make it so that it's as convenient as possible. And you could always catch the replay. So while you're here, you're shopping live, you're checking out, finishing your cart. Say you're like, wait, what was it that you said? Like, come back and watch us. Come back and watch it again. Like, they're going to be here for a long time. I never say forever because things in the digital world do change, but we're here for a long time. We're doing this. The videos will be here for you to refer back to. And then you can see all the other videos that have been recorded. Check out the lives that other people have done. Learn. There are so many techniques being shared. We're so happy. Oh, thanks, Deb. Oh yeah, that was a fun project. You really can bling anything, and it really does do well. And they hold up if you prep it properly and you read the instructions with the adhesive that you choose. It really does. Oh, thank you, Kim. Yes, thank you. I'm working in a small space, so I've taken advantage of the vertical sides of my room. It's fun. Maybe someday we'll do a studio tour if you guys are interested. I'd love to show you around and get a little bit more involved. Oh, in fact, let's see. So speaking of anything, this is a cup. This is a lid to a jelly jar. So you guys, you really can bling anything. I've done all sorts of different containers. It's just fun. And then you have this, like, this is just a regular jar that I'll put paint, like water in, and I'll, clean my brushes in. So there's nothing pretty about that, but then it's got this really cool top. So really, you can add crystals to anything, and don't let anybody tell you that too much is too much. Like, no. Life is short, people. Bling everything, sparkle on. It's just fun. So we, like I said, we are here, we are live. You can shop from these lives. Like, it's still mind boggling to me that we can do this. It makes it so easy. And it's just, check out your cart. Especially with those bead mixes. Don't forget the bead mixes. Check out what has already been posted and is available on artbeads.com, because those bead mixes, they are one of a kind. They are going to, for those that are still available, I heard that some of them like sold out like that, but there are still a few available. Thanks, Sandra. Yes, my sparkle sister. Oh, okay. So this is Elfa, ELFA. They have great system organizers. So yes, the lives are just so fun. We're here. We're sharing as much as we can. We would love to know what it is you want to learn from us, what you want to see. Maybe there's a tool you want to know more about, and we can focus a whole session on just a tool or a series of tools. You can tell I like tools. Yes, I use all of these. People will say, like, you have a lot of pliers. Like, why do you have more than one? Well, because you need more than one. So don't let anybody ever tell you you just need one. You need many for all different things. But I'm a tool person, and I love to talk tools. So if there's a tool you want to know about, or a technique that you really want to hear from us, let us know. We are always willing and able to share with you. You have an amazing team of talent available to you. You have access to us. Not quite 24/7, but no matter where you are, you can catch our lives or the replay. Really, anytime, we would love to have you join us. Love to see a video using the check glass buttons. Oh my gosh, we would love to do that. Okay, I'm going to add that to my list today, and I will start getting that in order. Christy, thank you so much. I love those buttons. They are so beautiful. You're also wonderful. I thank you so much for spending time with me today. Thank you for those of you who are watching the replay. We really appreciate your support. Again, please share this information with your friends so they know that we're here, we're sharing, we're teaching. We want to give you the information to empower you to go and make things and to do it the best way possible. Really, thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Check out artbeats.com/live. Don't miss any of those. Definitely close out your carts. That's where I was. Close out your carts because some of these things do sell out. You know, the inventory on some things is limited. So don't miss out. Just because it's in your cart doesn't mean that it's yours until you check out, especially where those bead mixes are concerned, because those are one of a kind. Those ladies put together some beautiful mixes and there's really a limited supply and they were handpicked so they can't be redone. So don't miss out on those. All right, everybody. I wish you all a blessed afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Please, please, please be safe, be kind, take care of each other, and have a wonderful ringing in of the new year. I will catch you in a few days into the new year, and I hope by then we're off and running and having a great start to what will be a beautiful, amazing 2024. Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody.